Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the Ask Us Anything webinar. We're just going to give it a minute or two to give people a chance to join the webinar, and then we will get started. Hi, everyone. We're going to give it a minute or two to give people a chance to join the webinar, and then we will get started. So thank you for joining us today. Hi, everyone. I think we can get started now. So firstly, thank you for joining us today for the Ask Us Anything webinar. My name is Sahil. I'm the Key Partnerships Manager, and on the call we also have Beth, who is our Marketing Comms Manager. So yeah, this webinar is basically a chance for you as charities to ask us your questions. So the way that this is going to work is I'm just going to go over sort of some information about the Christmas challenge that you should all probably know, but I just want to reiterate some of the key points, and then we'll throw it up to you. So we do have a couple of ways that people can ask questions during the webinar. So there's obviously the Q&A box, which I think some people are already putting questions in, which is great. And there's also the chat function, but we ideally we like people just to introduce themselves in the chat function and network with other attendees and share your experiences rather than putting questions in there. So use the Q&A box for any questions. We also would like to hear from you, as in allow you to speak, so it's not just myself and Ben speaking all the time. So if you want to actually speak to us, there is a raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom panel. If you click on that, you'll be put into the raise hand queue, and then we will be able to unmute you, and then you can ask us a question that way as well. So if you do want to speak to us that way, please do, and we really love that interaction with all of you today. Also, there is a transcription service enabled, so you should all be able to see that. For anyone hard of hearing, you should be able to see that transcription service. And a reminder that we are recording the webinar, so we will be putting it on our YouTube channel, so you can share it with any of your colleagues or rewatch it at a later date as well. So I'm just gonna go. Just bear with me. Yeah. So I'm just going to get us started. So I'm going to go over a quick reminder of how the Christmas challenge works, about how the match funding model works for this campaign. A couple of the key campaign rules, just to give you a reminder there, and then we'll throw up to your questions. So reminder that we've gone through the application phase. You've all been invited to take part in the campaign, and hopefully a lot of you have been awarded a champion funding as well. And now we are heading towards the campaign phase. So the campaign opens on the 29th of, sorry, that should have been November, so that's my typo. So 29th of November, midday, and closes on 6th of December. So that is Giving Tuesday, which it launches, and a reminder that you would have all collected pledges for your campaign, and then if you would have been awarded champion funding as well. This means in this example, this charity has secured £5,000 in pledges, and they've secured £5,000 in champion funds, and it makes their total match funding pot of £10,000. This means during the campaign week, they need to secure online donations of £10,000 to unlock those match funds. So in this example, the first £5,000 in online donations the charity raises are matched by the pledges. Once the pledge funds have been used up, then the next £5,000 this charity raises will be matched by the champion funds. So in total, they would have raised £20,000. It's not an all or nothing situation. So in this example, if the charity doesn't hit that online donation target, but if they raise, for example, £7,500, they will secure £5,000 from the pledges and £2,500 from the champion funds. So my advice to charities is really focus on making sure you use up those pledge funds. And if you have been awarded champion funding, make sure you use up those pledge funds to ensure you access those champion funds. So a reminder of the campaign rules. So at the moment, we can only accept donations by credit or debit card or Apple or Google Pay. Donations must come in during the campaign week of 29th of December to 6th of December. We can't match fund donations made on any other donation platform or made to you directly. So they must come through your Big Give campaign page to be qualified for match funding. Your pledges must not donate to your campaign, otherwise they will be doubling their own donation. Pledges are match funders for your campaign. So if a pledger does accidentally donate to your campaign during the campaign week, we will be running checks and we will be issuing an automatic refund where we do see a pledger may have donated to your own campaign. Pledges must pay after the campaign ends, and they pay you directly, so they can pay you check, backs transfer, whatever way is convenient for them. After the campaign ends, you need to go out to your pledges and request that payment from them, and we will ask you to upload a proof of transfer of funds. We will send all of that information after the campaign has ended, so it's a bit clearer. We don't want to confuse any messaging right now about pledge payments. You just need to know that pledges must wait until after the campaign ends for them to pay you their funds. Minimum donation amount is £1. Maximum donation amount is £25,000. If you're in a great position where you do use up all of your match funds before the campaign ends, you can still receive unmatched donations for your campaign. And the incentive there is that charities that exceed their campaign target are eligible for the Christmas Challenge Awards, for which there are cash prizes. So if you do really well, you hit your campaign target before the campaign ends, still encourage people to donate, and you can remind them that you can be eligible for Christmas Challenge Award if they carry on donating. So now onto your questions. I just want to remind you as well that we have the marketing and inspirational guidebooks available in your campaign dashboard, as well as further resources. And if you have any other questions for us after the webinar, do contact us at hello@biggive.org.uk. With that in mind, I will stop sharing. Don't know, Beth, have you identified anywhere to begin? Because I know we've got a few questions in QA and we also have someone that's raised their hand. So
maybe we can start with the raised hand and then we'll go into the QA box.
Great. So that is Josie. So Josie, I will allow you to talk, so hopefully this does work. Hi, Josie.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. Thanks both. Yeah, this is Josie Cullen from Full Fact. My question's about tracking. What, if any, tracking information is available? Is it possible for me to put something into tracking links at my end in communications we're sending out in order to compare either donations themselves or web traffic, compare communication A versus communication B? Is that something that's set up and possible or not?
Unfortunately, that's not possible because firstly, with the way our privacy policy is configured on the website, we want to limit how much we're tracking visitors to the website, especially via Facebook. So we can't, unfortunately, install tracking links on campaign pages. What we have suggested is if you are using ads or any sort of campaigns like that, is that maybe it's not the most accurate way, but set up a landing page on your own website, which then leads to the your Christmas challenge page. Obviously, it doesn't show exact data of the conversions, but it'll give you some idea of what people are clicking through.
Okay, thanks. I thought that would be the answer, but just wanted to confirm. Cheers.
Thank you.
Great. I'll start going through some of the questions in the Q&A box now. The first question is, what advice do you have for launching your campaign, your first campaign on TikTok? Good question. Unfortunately, Big Give don't have any personal experience using TikTok, so I don't know how much advice I can give you there. We did have a social media webinar that was run a few weeks ago. The recordings are all up on our YouTube channel, so there might be some info on TikTok there. Otherwise, I would definitely advise talking to other charities in the chat. Potentially, if they have advice about using TikTok, that'd be great for them to share. But yeah, unfortunately, can't say too much about that one, I'm afraid. Sahil, potentially one for you. Do you think there's any current marketing trends that stand out that could be useful to jump on for the Big Give Christmas challenge?
Marketing trends, that is a good question. I think basically all of Oxygen at the moment in terms of marketing and what's going on in the news is being taken up by just a living crisis. I think everyone's aware of that. And I think in terms of getting your sort of campaign, depending on obviously what you're raising funds for, but definitely if it's relevant is to be linking your campaign to the cost of living crisis and making people aware of that. I think as well is that about events as well. Obviously we're in a much better position than last year in terms of being able to do events. So in-person events. So if you do have anything lined up, that's a great way to start promoting your campaign. My advice, if you're running an event, is that have QR codes around your event that link to your Christmas challenge page. If the event is during the Christmas challenge, sorry, I should mention, have QR codes around the room at your events so that people can easily donate to your campaign. As well as virtual events are still happening as well. So I think that's still a key trend as well, so that it's more inclusive and accessible. So I think in terms of market trends, that's what we're seeing just in terms of news and where people's attention is, and also in terms of marketing, in terms of events and things like that.
Great. Another question about gift aid, particularly. Our charity received lots of gift aid payments over a 6-month period after the campaign last year. Will gift aid be paid in a more orderly way with clearly named payments and dates this year?
Yeah, so the reason for the delay in payments last year is because we were actually setting up the gift aid payment solution, because it was the first time we were claiming gift aid for charities. So now we actually have that solution set up. It's a more prompt system that we will be able to be submitting gift aid claims from 2 weeks after the campaign ends. And then, because then it's up to how long HMRC actually takes to process the claims. Due to the way that we sort of built into HMRC system, it won't be itemized. It'll be still in the same format that you received the sort of gift aid information as last year's campaign. So it's not going to be itemized as such. So it'll still be matched up in how we submit the claims, unfortunately.
I would just add to that to say, if you have received your HMRC payments and you need help reconciling them, you can get in touch with us and we can provide you with a gift aid report. It's for the claims that we process, so it won't include the additional, what is it called that HMRC add to it?
Oh, the interest payment.
Yeah, the interest fee. So it won't include that, but it might help you to reconcile the payments a bit more. So this question from Millie here. We have been selected for match funding. We secured 1,250 in pledges and the same from our match funder. Our target is £5,000. As donations will will be doubled, do we need to secure just 1,215 donations during the campaign week?
No, so because you've secured £1,250 in pledges and then £1,250 in champion funds, this means to unlock all of those match funds, you need to raise £2,500 during the Christmas challenge week. So that's your online donation target. So basically think of your pledges and champion funds as all of your match funds. And then you want to raise online donations to unlock those match funds. So your total, so your sort of campaign or your online donation target during the campaign week is £2,500. You may want to just ensure that you use up the pledges so you access the champion funds. So really want to focus on at least securing £1,250 in donations so you do start accessing those champion funds that you've been awarded.
Great. Also, did you want to?
Yeah, so is this the one that you asked? Is there a possible way to link your Big Give campaign to Tiltify? I don't know if you know about Tiltify, Beth. I'm unaware of it.
Yeah, I'm unsure. I would advise, I guess, for any platforms that you're using, if you can link via the campaign URL, because if you can link through website URLs, then you should be able to link to your Big Give campaign page. If it's not possible to link via an URL, then it's probably not the case, and you might need to look for an alternative solution in that case. But again, I haven't had experience with them before. So again, if any charities have, please do feel free to share your thoughts there.
Right. And so there's a question from Hanny. How do you work around the issue of corporates not being able to pay via the link? We have the Big Give to be challenged for corporates as they tend to want to pay by invoice. I'm happy to take this one, is that we are working on a possible solution for accepting BACS transfers, donations. I can't guarantee that we're going to have it in place for this Christmas challenge. We're hoping to, but we're still working on that solution. So it's not, I don't want to promise anything yet. If we do have that solution, it'll be a system where for minimum donations of a minimum of £500, donors can make a BACS transfer to the Big Give, and they'll be given via a link on the Big Give website, and they will be given a donation credit. So then they can use those donation credits to make donations on the Big Give website. If we do have that system in place, we will contact all charities to let you know how it works and how you can get those donors, those major donors, to use that system if they prefer to make a donation via BACS transfers.
I guess on the other side of that, it's always good to kind of have a second solution. Potentially, some charities in the past have had employees, like potentially a trustee, making a donation on behalf of potentially like people or businesses that don't have a card. So they're making their donation from their personal card and then figuring all of the finance stuff out internally. So again, obviously not the best solution, but potentially another option there if you can do that.
This question for Sarah: if your pledge as a corporate partner, can you still promote this to their individual staff members?
Yeah, that's answered the question. You can still have all of the employees, they can make their own donations from their personal card. That's absolutely fine.
If you don't use up all of your pledge funds, would your champion be able to donate to your charity anyway through after the campaign has ended, or would that be an arrangement you'd have to come to with your champion outside the Big Give portal? That is something that we would discuss with the champion. To be honest, from previous years, more often than not, where champion funds are unused, champions prefer to actually just roll it over to the following year for their champion funding part. So in that event that you don't use up all of your champion funds or you don't access them, I'll be honest, that's most likely unlikely that you would receive the champion funds in that situation. And that's something that we manage with the champions on how they want to deal with that situation.
Great. This question about gift aid. We think there are options for us to claim on the donations or for the big gift to do it on our behalf for a fee. We don't really want to pay fees on it, so we need to know how to ensure we can claim gift aid on donations ourselves and that isn't claimed in error. Okay, so essentially in the Big Give portal, if you go to account and claim gift aid, you can authorize the Big Give to claim gift aid for you. If you've done this and decide you want to change your mind and you want to claim in-house, that's absolutely fine. Just contact us before the challenge starts and we can remove that authorization so you can claim in-house. If you haven't authorized us to do so, there's nothing you need to do here. You can claim in-house and we won't be claiming any gift aid for you. All of your gift aid information will be available in your donations report, which is in your campaign dashboard. So you'll see the name, the address, everything you need to claim that gift aid in-house if you want to. And of course, if you haven't authorized us, there's no fees on top of that.
Yeah, I was hoping to set up the QR code. Is this possible? We don't have ourselves, we don't have a way to create QR codes for campaigns. But if you Google QR code generator, there are a lot of free online tools where you can allow you to create a QR code for any links. So that's what we would advise if you're looking to set up QR codes for your campaign.
And good advice from Faye there, who says you can create a QR code on Canva. So that's really good to know.
Similar question. We had an issue last year with gift aid. It took ages and ages. Are we able to collect gift aid ourselves for the donations? I think some of this is answered before, that the reason for the delay last year was just because it was a new system for us and we won't have action now. We'll be able to submit claims 2 weeks after the campaign has ended. And then it's just up to how long HMRC takes to process claims. But if you do want to deauthorize the claim, if you just contact us and then we can deauthorize that for you. Right.
So one question from Laura here. We're planning an offline fundraising event and people are likely wanting to donate in cash. What's the best way to manage cash donations and make sure they land in the Big Give?
So this is, we get this question quite a lot. And what I would say is that if you're collecting cash donations for an event, someone from your charity can make a donation in proxy of those cash donations to your campaign using their personal card. Obviously, the caveat there is that they can't claim gift aid on that donation because there's a collection of different donations. And the second thing is, if you're doing this, then I would definitely consult with your finance team just to ensure that everything is shown on your accounts correctly in terms of paying back that employee who makes that proxy donation correctly, etc., etc. So I would consult with your finance team about that, but that's how we advise charities to deal with cash collections of cash donations for events.
And just to add to that as well, for charities who have had events during the campaign week, they've had laptops and tablets and computers available so people can make their donations directly via the campaign page on the night. So again, potentially looking into that option so you encourage as many people as possible to donate via your Big Give page.
A question for you, I think, Beth. What advice would you have around the current climate the UK is in, use of language, campaign techniques, and what is a sense of time around finance for many people? I guess this touches on our key messages that we share with charities as well.
Yeah, so in your campaign portal, under the support section, there's a Christmas challenge section where you'll find all of our resources. And one of those resources is a key message document. So obviously we're all very aware that we're fundraising through very tough economic times. And we did actually have another YouTube webinar session about that as well. So again, you can check the recording on our YouTube channel. But I think it's just about obviously still encouraging your campaign and being hopeful and having very positive messaging, but being aware of the tough situation that people are in. So in our key messages, we're saying, do what you can and we'll double it. So, you know, really incentivizing that match funding and saying, if you can give, this is the best time to give because your donation will be doubled, but also drawing out those secondary messages saying, okay, if you can't give, can you share, can you like, can you fundraise? So encouraging people to get involved, giving them other calls to action, but still trying to promote your campaign as well. So it's about, I guess, a balance in that. But I would still very much encourage you to be positive in your messaging as well, because there are people who can give and do still want to give to you.
And I guess a point there as well is with the match funding is that it can still have the same impact for them. So maybe someone that normally gives £20 can't give £10 this year, but with the doubling, they're still giving that £20 impact. So that's something to remember as well. Another question for you, I think, Beth, as well, is what are Big Give's launch plans? Do you have a video for this year?
So yes, the video is well underway. We're prepping it as we speak. We're hoping to launch the video a week before the campaign starts. So we will be sharing that with all of you via email when that's ready. So you can also share and promote it as well. But yeah, the Big Give have lots of press plans that are currently underway, the video being one of them.
Great. How is the auto-organizing of the campaign homepage arranged? It seems to change from match funds left or amount raised and seems to favor large organizations with higher match funds. Yeah, so the default setting is amount of match fund remaining is and then donors can change that filter to most raised. It's been a difficult way that we've come to this conclusion of how we filter campaigns. We can't randomize the order, that's not possible, unfortunately. So we've had to come up with a set way and something that's consistent. And we just decided that we want to show the most match funds raised charities first. So as the campaign goes, that's obviously going to be changing as different charities hit their target at different points. And just so that it highlights to donors when they visit the site where the match funds are still remaining. We understand that it's not always ideal and it's not going to please everyone, but this was what we agreed as the best sort of solution to have for what we want donors to be seeing when they land on the Christmas Challenge page.
Great. So question, can we change our usual donate button on our website to direct to our campaign page? Definitely, I would advise checking with your tech team or whoever measures the website and exactly how to do that, but you should be able to change the URL so it directs directly to your campaign page, and the donate button will appear on that campaign page when the campaign starts on the 29th.
And that's actually great advice as well, is that if you want to ensure that you don't miss donors or donors actually accidentally donating in the wrong place. That is a great advice about updating any donate links on your own website, point to your Big Give campaign page if that's something that you want to do. Hey guys, this is from Rebecca from EduSport. Appreciate you taking the time to deliver the webinar today. It's our pleasure. I'm still exploring the documents available on the Big Give website. I know you're updating content all the time, so I might have missed this, but will you be providing any LinkedIn banner templates, social media templates this year, please? That's one for you.
Yep, so all of our social media assets should now be available on the portal. So again, under that support section, there's a Christmas Challenge tab. If you click on that, there's a specific resource about assets, and all of that should have all of the LinkedIn banners, the logos, everything that you can use, specifically via Canva as well if you want to edit some yourself. But yeah, have a look at that, and if you don't find it, please do send us an email.
Great. I'm just bringing up one of the blogs in relation to the next question. it's from Penny asking, are you able to share any samples of last year's campaigns for ideas? And I am just going to crop that in the chat now. So just bear with me. So I've linked to the Christmas Challenge Awards blog that from last year. So it has the case studies from the award winners from last year. So if you click on that link, you can download those case studies and just get a better understanding of what some of the charities did last year, and maybe give you a bit of inspiration as well for your campaign this year.
Great. And then says, when is the best time to add a countdown widget to the web page and comms channels? Now, 2 weeks before, 7 days before? I think some charities have actually started to answer that question in the chat. So, I mean, it'd be great to hear from all of you as well. When are you starting to do your own countdowns? For Big Give, we do one essentially that's 4 weeks before, 2 weeks before, and 7 days before. So it's really up to you. And I would advise definitely adding some stuff into your newsletters. If you have like a monthly newsletter, adding in a save the date there. Not sure, Sahil, if you had any advice of how you've seen charities.
No, yeah, I've seen different charities do it differently. I mean, I guess it also depends on how Christmas Challenge fits in with their fundraising plans, where there is one part of their fundraising sort of campaign for the season. So they may then just focus it for 1 or 2 weeks before the campaign in terms of promoting it. Whereas other charities I know where it's the main thing for their Christmas fundraising, and so they really focus everything on like a month before on making donors aware of the Christmas Challenge. So I guess as well as something to consider is how it fits in with the rest of your fundraising plans for the season.
Have we got any raised hands yet?
No raised hands. If you, that's a good reminder. If anyone does want to speak to us, please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom panel, and we can unmute you and you can ask us a question live. Got a question here from Theatre Orchard. Can we line up prepared pledges? I assume by pledges they mean donors before 29th of November. So if, for example, can we send out press release or newsletter prior to the Christmas Challenge week?
So yeah, it's completely up to you how you would like to market your campaign. Absolutely, I would advise having that newsletter or press release out. If you do have some major donors or supporters that you're really close to, having personal letters or personal emails sent to them before the campaign so they're prepared, and having them kind of lined up and ready is a great way to get them involved as well. So yeah, I would definitely advise starting to reach out now if you haven't started already.
This is from Emma. Does Big Give take a transaction percentage of live donations that come through? If so, does that get taken off our total target? So there is a card processing fee on donations. If you visit our website, click on About and click on Our Fees, it will show a breakdown of those fees. Essentially for EU, Visa and MasterCard donations is 1.5% of the donation amount plus 20p. And then if it's non-EU and Amex donations, there's 3.2% of the donation amount plus 20p. That does not get taken off your donation total target, so you don't need to worry about that. It is the sort of the gross donation amount which we count as being matched and goes to your total target. So it only affects the actual payout stage, those card processing fees.
Question from Sarah. Hi there, I've got a question around thanking. Our understanding is that all donors will get the automated thank you that we added in our application. Would you suggest we thank donors again with a longer letter/email as a follow-up? Yeah, as Sarah mentioned, all donors after they make a donation, they receive a confirmation email that had the receipt and also their personalized charity thank you message in it. And you can edit that thank you message in your campaign dashboard. Also, in your campaign dashboard, you'll have your donations report, and in that report, you'll see everyone who's opted into receiving email comms from you, and you'll have access to their email if they have opted in. So I would definitely advise, once the campaign has ended, to follow up with those donors who have opted in to receive comms from you, whether that's a thank you or another message. It's completely up to you. But again, those donors are potentially could become long-term donors, people who want to support your campaign. So you want to encourage them to continue to stay involved in your charity. And if they've opted in, they're clearly very interested about what you do and want to stay in touch. So yeah, I would definitely encourage thanking them again if you can.
Question, Josie, is there a demo of how the donation flow form itself will look and work, or will it be functionally same as the current live non-Christmas charity campaigns on your website, e.g. the DEC appeal we have currently live on the site? Yeah, the short answer is going to be functionally the same as the current live campaigns. I think the two caveats to add there is we're in the process of reskinning our website with a new design. So while the actual steps that donors go through will be the same, it'll look slightly different with the redesign of the website, but the actual functionality will be broadly the same. The other change we're making for the Christmas challenge is that previously the donors had 15 minutes to make their donation for it to be matched, otherwise the match funds are returned to the match funding pot. We are increasing that to 30 minutes for this year's campaign for accessibility needs, to allow people with accessibility requiring more time to complete their donation. So that will probably be the biggest change in terms of the donor experience compared to last year, where they have more time to complete their donation and haven't much. Functionally, what we're asking in terms of the information from donors is the same as the current live campaigns. Question for you, Beth. What marketing support can the Big Give offer us? Social media reposts, charity spotlights on any emails going out?
Yeah, so Big Give are happy to retweet, reshare social media posts, share Instagram stories. Obviously there's a lot of charities. We have over 1,000 taking part in the campaign, so we don't always see every post. So if you do, make sure to tag us, use that Christmas Challenge 22 hashtag. We're more likely to be able to see it. We're happy to reshare it. In the case we've missed you for some reason, do send us an email with a link to some posts. Happy to reshare it that way as well. I'm going to be working on the emails with Sahil, as well as managing most of our social media channels. So again, completely happy to share charity socials, but please do forgive me if I miss yours. It's not on purpose, I promise.
Joanna has a question. How many charities are taking part in this year's campaign? What percentage received champion funding? So we have 1,017 charities taking part this year, which we're really excited about. Biggest campaign ever in terms of number of charities taking part and match funds available for this year's campaign. What percentage received champion funding? I think it was 84 or 85%, around there, that much that received champion funding this year. We did write a blog post, which we can
I just linked in the chat.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that blog post details all the stats in terms of what percent of charities receive champion funding, etc. So please do have a read of that.
I noticed a few questions coming in via the chat. If you could redirect them to the Q&A box, just because it's easier for us to keep track, because sometimes the chat goes quite quickly. So if we have missed your question in the chat, please do pop it in that Q&A box. Question from an anonymous person. Do you have any advice for ensuring your Big Give is accessible for those who aren't tech savvy?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, we're increasing the donation time limit to 30 minutes to make it a bit more give more time for people, especially people with accessibility requirements, to complete the donation. Our website does meet accessibility requirements, so it should be compatible with screen readers, for example. Our advice where maybe people aren't as tech savvy is to, when you're contacting them about making a donation, is to, before they start a donation, make sure they have, like, for example, their credit or debit card ready to make that donation, rather than realizing that midway through the donation journey that then start looking for it. Also, we can advise that in previous years, some charities have sort of donation stations at their office. If most of their donors are local to their community, they've been able to come in, and the charities has been able to help them make a donation. Failing that is that it may be worth asking that donor if they have anyone they know, like friends or family, that can help them make a donation as well. So those are some of the points we'd suggest when approaching those donors who may not be as tech savvy to make a donation. Question as well from Josie. Keen to have consistency of big branding across our marketing and the campaign page. When will the campaign pages be updated to reflect your new brand? Can you give us a date? Thanks. So we will be rolling out the new brand in phases on the website. So the first phase will be next week at some point. So we're hoping for the 7th of November. I think a couple of weeks after that, then we should have the campaign page ready with the updated design. So hopefully in 2 weeks from now, the new campaign pages will be ready with the new design. Question from John Fisher. Would BACS transfers, which we were talking about earlier on, would that also apply to people who want to pay from a CAF account? So that donation credit system, which I was talking about previously, would only be for BACS transfers. It wouldn't be linked to CAF accounts, so only BACS transfers.
If a funder wants to donate to us during this period, do they have to donate online during the campaign, or are we able to add it with the funding? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if you're relating to match funding there, so maybe if you could have a follow-up, that'd be good. But yes, if they want to donate to you during the campaign, then we advise, again, donating directly via your Big Give campaign page.
What date is your campaign going live to launch the Big Give? So the actual campaign launches on 29th of November, but if you're asking about like our our start of our marketing campaign, and that's the launch of our video, which is that in 2 weeks as well?
Yep, we're aiming for 2 weeks, I think. Question from Hayley. We're planning to organise for the team to have the campaign link in our email signatures. Are there any templates or resources for this? So we don't have any templates for email signatures, so unfortunately not, but you should have access to your campaign page link now. So again, it's completely fine for you to add it to your email signature if you want to.
I've seen some charities in the past where they've used so you have that campaign banner on all of your campaign pages, where some charities have used that campaign banner as sort of put that in their signature and then link to that Christmas challenge page. So maybe you can use your Christmas challenge banner as sort of in your email signature to link to your campaign page. Are there any benefits for claiming gift aid through the Big Give rather than doing it in-house? I guess this really depends on your charity setup and what you prefer. We know that some, especially smaller charities, don't have a lot of capacity and haven't a lot of experience of claiming gift aid, which is why they authorize us to claim gift aid for them. And on the flip side of that, we know that charities where they're, especially large ones where they have a whole function to deal with gift aid claims, prefer to claim it themselves. So it's really up to what your preference is and what you have capacity for, if you want to authorize us to claim gift aid for you, or if you want to claim it yourself.
Question from Lena. Just triple checking that gift aid is claimed on the unmatched donations. Does anyone refer to this in messaging, e.g. not just Twice Impact, there's gift aid too? So for the first question, yes, gift aid can be applied to every donation. So even if you run out, you reach your target, which is great, and you're still receiving donations, even if they're unmatched, people can still say they want to add gift aid to their donation. Regarding messaging, I'm not sure if this is on the campaign page or.
Yeah, so we do. Yeah, that's a great way to message the sort of donation impact to donors, is saying if they give £10, that goes to £20, plus the gift aid on top of that, which goes to £22.50. So that is a great way to show to donors the full impact of their donation. So yeah, absolutely. If you want to give that as an example when you're going out to donors, please do that.
Great. There's a question that says, will it be okay to package the donation as a Christmas gift / e-voucher, i.e. someone can buy a gift voucher for someone else by donating?
Yes, that's fine, but I guess that you'd have to sort of facilitate that. But essentially, we don't have any rules against doing anything like that. So yeah, that seems like a great idea. Can you clarify the difference between a donation and a pledge? Beth, do you want to take this, or shall I?
Yeah, so a pledge is essentially a promise of funding that a charity secures before the Christmas Challenge campaign starts. So a pledger might be a trustee, a major donor, someone in your network who promises funding, and this promise of funding counts towards your matched funding for your campaign. So your pledge plus any champion funds that you may have received are combined together, and that's your match funding pot. The donation is any donations made to your campaign during the campaign week. So supporters, donors, whoever they may be, they donate directly to your Big Give campaign page during the week of the 29th of November to the 6th of December. And all of these donations that they made are then matched by that pledge, by that champion funds, that match funding pot that you've already secured before the campaign has started. So you definitely think of the pledge as the match funding, the donation as the actual donation during the campaign week.
Question from Sarah: what are the Christmas Challenge awards that you mentioned? Are you entered automatically if you go over the target? So first of all, yeah, if you go over your target, you are not automatically entered for the Christmas Challenge awards. You will need to submit a case study, which is one of the criteria alongside how much you exceeded your target is, and one of the criteria that we judge the Christmas Challenge awards on. After the campaign ends, we'll contact all charities that exceeded their target with information on how they can apply for the Christmas Challenge awards and submit a case study. And yeah, Beth, do you want to give a bit more information about the awards in terms of the categories and sort of what's on offer?
So yeah, we have different award categories each year, and we're still going to finalize them completely for this year, but some include like a small charity award, an international charity award, UK charity award, an overall winner. We also have a supporters choice award that we started last year, and we're going to be continuing this year, which essentially works like a giveaway where we encourage your supporters to enter you as an award winner and say why they're supporting your charity and why you should win the award. So again, we'll send out all information about the award categories and how to specifically enter for each one a bit closer to the time.
How important is it to have our own charity video on our pages? Well, we always find that donors are responsive to videos. Obviously, if they shouldn't be too long, so somewhere between 30 seconds to 1 minute maximum is ideal for a video on your Christmas Challenge page. So it's not essential. I mean, we do understand that especially smaller charities may not have the capacity to make the video at the moment. So it's something that would be nice to have if you can have one, but it's not essential. And that campaign page is really up to you of what media assets you want to put on it. So if you don't think it's appropriate, or if you don't feel you can make a video because of basically the sensitive nature of your work, then don't feel you have to put one on there just for the sake of it. Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Does the campaign link not go live until the week starts, or is it available now?
So yes, you have access to your campaign link already. So you should be able to go to the portal and get it that way, or just go to our website and type in your charity name and find it that way. But the donate button on that page does not appear until the campaign actually starts on the 29th at 12 p.m. midday.
I need to amend the main holding page and title of the campaign, but can only see how to edit the media. Where can I edit the main campaign page? Yeah, if you would like to edit the copy, please contact us, and then we can talk you through. You basically need to submit changes to us so we can make the changes for you. If you have been awarded champion funding, depending on the nature of it, if they're quite significant changes, we may have to ask the champion if they're fine with those changes. But if they're just more cosmetic copy changes, then that should be fine. But yeah, contact us and then we can talk you through how to submit the changes to us.
Just another question about the Christmas Challenge Awards. Could you just clarify the eligibility again, Sahil? Is it right that you have to exceed your target?
Yeah, so the first criteria is that you have to exceed your Christmas Challenge campaign target. This can even be by just £1, but as long as you exceed your Christmas Challenge campaign target, you are eligible for the awards. And the second thing that you need to do to actually apply for the awards then will be to submit a case study to us, which we will contact all charities about after the campaign has ended on how they can then submit the awards, submit the case study for the awards. Question maybe for you, Beth, is from Louise from Bendrick Trust. I'm on your Facebook page and can only see one past event for 2015. Do you no longer set up your own Facebook event to promote this on your own Facebook social?
Good question, Louise. When I did come in to the Big Give, it's only this past year we've been a lot more active on social, so I haven't actually had the chance to explore that yet. It'd be great to know from charities in particular if you've had experience with Facebook events and if they've been successful for you in the past. I think is something I'll definitely look into in that case.
Question from Karen: do you accept donations via CAF accounts? If not, how would you advise to respond to people who use this usually? So unfortunately, we can't accept donations via CAF accounts. We can only accept donations at the moment by credit, debit card, Apple, or Google Pay. So if you have donors in that situation, you could ask them if they can change the way they give for 1 month or so for this one instance, rather, to give to you via one of the prescribed methods via your Christmas challenge campaign page. And you can say that the incentive here is that by doing it, their donation can be doubled. If they don't have the facility to do that, you could maybe ask them, do they have a friend or family member that can make a proxy donation for them? So they make a donation in that person for that person to your Christmas Challenge campaign.
Thanks. And there's one that says, where in the Big Give account can I find the campaign thank you message in case I wish to edit? So if you log into the portal under Big Give campaigns, you'll find your Christmas Challenge campaign and you can access the dashboard that way. There's a media tab. If you click on, you can edit all of your media, your quotes, and the thank you message for your page. So you should find it there. Sahil, if you haven't been successful with a champion, what are the benefits of carrying on with this rather than just running a promo event or something direct to our charity?
That's a great question. We think that there's still great incentive for charities who haven't secured champion funding to take part. We really find that taking part in the Christmas challenge under sort of a bigger campaign banner does help charities cut through some of that fundraising noise around Christmas time. Beyond that, I think we always see, I think last year there was 92% of participating charities received at least one donation from a completely new supporter. So we always find that the Christmas challenge is a great way for charities to secure new supporters. And I think as well is that you've already done the hard work of securing the pledges. So why not still utilize those pledge funds as the match funding for your campaign and unlock that incentive for donors to donate to your charity. So that's some of the reasons why we think that charities can still benefit from taking part, even though they may not have received champion funding. But again, that is your decision if you want to take part in the campaign or not.
Question here, what if we get one big donation, i.e. 20k, but we have a 12.5k pledge pot and a 12.5k champion fund?
Yeah, so that 20k donation would be matched 12.5k from those pledges. So basically it would use up all of the pledge funds, and then it'll be matched £7,500 from the champion funds. So basically that 20k donation would be matched, and then you'd have the remaining champion funds to use up for the rest of your campaign.
Question from Emma. We're a relatively small charity and sometimes struggle to get donations. If, and hopefully this won't happen, we don't actually raise enough to get our match funding, do we still receive the total amount of pledges, or do we only receive back the amount that we receive in donations? I hope that makes sense. So yeah, you receive everything you raise plus that amount matched. Say you raise part of your target and it's only enough to access some of the pledge funds, it will be up to your pledges if they'd still like to give you the full amount, regardless of it being matched. And I think I've heard from quite a few charities that a lot of pledges do just give the full amount, regardless of what you managed to raise in online donations during that week. So again, it would be up to them in that case, but in most cases it does happen. But you wouldn't access the champion funds on that occasion unless the champion has also said that they would like to give you the amount regardless of what you've raised. I hope that answered the question.
Great. We are running out of time. We have 5 minutes left, so we'll see how many more questions we can get through. Do you recommend that we direct donors to a pinpointed project within the charity rather than give generally to our charity? E.g., £50 will help fund this project, £20 will buy X. So your Christmas Challenge campaign page will detail what you are eligible to raise funds for. Basically, it's that application you submitted, and any funds you raise through the Christmas Challenge must go to spending on what's described on your campaign page. So when you're talking to donors about your Christmas Challenge campaign, you should be also framing it in that context. So what are you raising funds for your Christmas Challenge campaign? And that's what you should be talking to donors about. You're more than welcome to use gift handles when talking to donors. Usually £20 will help buy this, or £30 will help buy that. There are pros and cons to gift handles we've seen in the past. Sometimes they do give sense of donors of sort of what impact their donation is having. On the flip side of that, it can also sometimes limit how much donors are willing to give. If they see, oh, okay, £50 gives this much, where they may have, without that prompt, they actually may have given slightly more. So you may want to think about the impact of using gift handles that way. And just for reference, the average donation on our website is £130. So just thinking about how the impacts of match funding has on donors, they're more likely to give a bit more with the impact with the offer of match funding. So you don't want to limit, or you don't want to sort of limit how much they're giving that way.
Great question from Faye. If you've won an award in the past, are you allowed to submit a case study for this year again? And the answer to that is yes, as long as you meet that eligibility criteria of raising over your target, you can 100% win an award and submit a case study and win an award again if you've won in the past.
There's a question from Veronica. During the week, what delay will there be on our dashboard showing the amount of donations made, as we plan to update this info on all our social media during the week? So yeah, the campaign, your Christmas challenge dashboard updates in real time. It'll be maybe at most a 5 to 10 minute delay. But so it's pretty up to date in terms of as donations come in, your dashboard will be relatively up to date in terms of your campaign totals. So you should be able to update your social media as and when.
I've answered the last question by typing it. So I would just say here, if you have got another question, if you have missed something, please do contact us by email at hello@thebiggive.org.uk, and we're happy to help continue to answer any questions that we missed out in this webinar.
And thank you all for joining us today. We managed to make it on time, so we didn't overrun. But yeah, thanks again for joining us, and yeah, we're happy to answer any further questions you have up to the campaign week, during the campaign, up to the campaign week. Just reach out to us. But in the meantime, I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Thank you. Bye.